right, hey, in this video, we're gonna throw everything into one video. It's all the little stuff that is unique for Canva docs that is not quite normal. We won't do the normal stuff. You can figure out how to add bullet points on your own, but I'm gonna show you things like this. Like, what is this thing? It's kind of a nice little highlight panel. Same with this quote here. We'll do page breaks. We'll do links and dates. I'll show you how to use an app called Lorem Ipsum to kind of add bulk text here. This is the everything video, everything that's left for Canva docs. It's like the second drawer down. Does everybody have one of those? Just everything's in there. It's a little bit messy, but you know where to go. Just get on with the video, Dan. Jeez, his metaphors. All right, before we get started, I'm kind of coming back from the future to add this because it's a significant thing that I forgot to add in. So once you actually have got your doc ready and you want to print it, you go to File and you go to There's Not a Print, okay? And what you need to do if you want to print this out, okay, you need to go to Share and you need to download it first as either a PDF or a docx, whichever makes more sense for you. Not editable, editable. Sometimes you want it not editable. You just want to send it off in an email and have people print it without changing it. Docx is more of a, if somebody who doesn't have Canva, they can be using Microsoft Word to make adjustments. Okay, either way, you'll know which one is better for your system to be able to download and then hit the print from that. So if I open up my PDF on my computer, it'll open up in Preview on a Mac or Acrobat on a PC. Everyone's got different software and you print from that. Okay, so if you are looking for the print button, there's no print button. There you go. Let's carry on with the regular course. Let's jump into the video. Okay, all of those things are hiding in here or the / key, the quick actions. Okay, I'm not going to cover everything in here because most of them you'll be able to work out on your own and that's boring. Okay, checklist, bullet points, number list you can do. Let's cover the things that are interesting and that might be a stumbling block for you. So let's start with the most interesting, kind of quirky ones. Let's look at a highlight block. Okay, basically, it's a highlight block you saw at the beginning. Let's put in the success one, okay? And I'm gonna be tracking the success metrics. So a win for this project is going to be kind of 20% year-on-year growth from last November. Now, all it is basically a 2-column grid that's got added, okay? Kind of like a table, slightly different, okay? You can adjust it. Okay, by doing the kind of normal stuff, you can add another one there, okay? If you need it to be a table, don't use this, put a table in. It has more controls, okay? This kind of more column-based thing is a simpler version of it. But the cool thing about it is you can do the things like styling it. So watch this. If I click in here and I hit escape, I select just that kind of column. I can grab the whole thing. So click off, click in here. I can say, all right, I want the whole thing, and then I can say, all right, I want the color to be not this. I want to adjust it and maybe make it a little bit more saturated by dragging it this way. Let's go really high, get the idea. And similarly, we can add border styles. Okay, it's a little bit more cut down than in the tables. Okay, so it's just a border around the outside, but a lot of the same skills will work. And that's what this little thing is. It's just a little block of text. I find them really juicy for projects that have like a lot of boring details. You just need something to kind of like, I don't know, some more easily digestible, skimmable content. And there are a couple of other ones that are basically the same thing. Let's have a look. Quote. Okay, so let's have a look. There's quotes in here. Exactly the same thing. Okay, it's just basically putting in 3 columns now instead of just 2. Okay, we could do the same thing here by going, all right, you are, grab the plus. Okay, I've got now 3 columns like this. So they're just kind of putting in pre-formatted columns, okay, kind of like a table, slightly cut down. And they, in this case, have put big quotes in the corners, okay, to help you out, but they are helpful. And if you're new to design, some of these kind of like little pullouts, okay, are, I don't know, can make some pretty heavy annual reports or newsletters a little bit more exciting. Other things I want to show you is we've got start dates. There is adding a date, okay. What I find though is adding them into a table. Can you do it? I'm not sure how. So what I end up doing is just putting them here and say, all right, I want this date thing, which is in here. I'm just going to type it in, date. There it is there. I'm going to select a date. I'm going to go this date. Okay. And then I can copy it and paste it in here. Other things that are useful. If I select something, I can add a hyperlink. Okay. All right, done. Okay. Hyperlink's easy. Other interesting things is page breaks. So you might not know the kind of international break a page shortcut is hold down the Command key on a Mac, Control key on a PC and hit return. You can, and it just puts a page break, puts a space in your page because otherwise Canva does like to go on forever and ever and ever. I'm going to get rid of the page break. Okay, what you can do is you can enter it in here. There is an option in here. Where are you? Page break. Okay, it's up to you how you want to do it. There is a shortcut to getting to logos as well. If I need my logo in here, you might have like a logo that you run at the bottom of a page. We don't really have one. We've got a horizontal one. Okay, but anyway, is that a shortcut? Everything else I'll let you work on your own. But the last one I want to show you is sometimes when you're designing a larger document, which this isn't this particular one, but we're learning the skills for it with our character styles and tables and things like that. Okay, but let's say we do just need a whole bunch of block text to kind of make this thing longer so we can start, styling a longer document. You add something called lorem ipsum. Some of you'll know it, some of you won't. Okay, basically it's just mixed up Latin words that looks like English, and you can style it, but doesn't have actual content into it. Let's have a look at bringing it in. So we're gonna use an app, okay, and in your apps, okay, type in lorem ipsum. Okay, so I'm going to search for that. There's a bunch of different apps. This one here works. Not all of them work in this kind of separate document format. So Quick Lorem does. Okay, and it's just really handy to say, all right, I need 50 words because I'm going to put it in here. I'm going to go to paragraphs and I need 5 paragraphs, or I need a bunch of paragraphs. You only have 5? Anyway, what I want is down the bottom here, I want to add it to the design. And can you see, it's just a bunch of text. It's something that I can style. So I'm going to copy and paste it a few times. So if I'm designing this and I don't have the content yet, or I'm going to the client and we're looking at the design, not the content, sometimes it can be problematic when you just, say you grab last year's content. You end up spending in the meeting going, somebody going, you can't write that, or we don't write that anymore, or that's last year's stuff. You're like, I know, no. We're looking at the design. Okay, so what you can do is you can say, okay, heading 3, I'm using my heading 2 style, but you get the idea. I can go through and kind of style this thing, but I'm using kind of Latin. I can go in here and say, what would the first paragraph look like? Maybe I'm going to do bold, Command B. Okay, that's what I'm going to do first paragraphs to kind of help separate it out. What I might do for headings as well is I might go into spacing, and I'm going to say I'm going to do line spacing. Okay, and headings are just going to be a little bit taller than everything else for a bit of a break. But anyway, lorem ipsum is a really common thing for designers to throw into websites, ads where you don't actually have the copy yet, or you want to remove that from the conversation. You want to be designing a design, visual communication, but not the actual specific content. Because we looked at kind of Magic right before. Okay, with people that have, I think it's a pro-only version of AI creation. You could use ChatGPT or Google's Gemini, whatever the hot thing is at the moment. But sometimes that can be just as bad, where you're like, that's not right. That doesn't make sense. Lorem ipsum can be really useful that way. Anyway, I don't want to cover too much more. Basically now it's just a word processor. Kind of wrapping it up. It is used for longer documents. It's a replacement for Word or Google Docs. Is it better? It is better in the fact that I have all of my design elements. So if you need your documents to have a really specific look, we all know when we make a design and send it off to a client and they start using Word and it becomes, I don't know, they start destroying it, using half of it and stretching it sideways. Canva can be the right kind of restriction for maybe a client to use, even for your own stuff. There you go. That is it. I will see you in the next video.